This morning our theme is back to school. For some of us, school was a long time ago, but today I pray what I'm talking to you about may speak to us all. Put your hands up if you like school. There's a few up there. Any of the youth? Do you like school? No, we've not got many hands up there. Okay. Well, I absolutely loved school. I had a great time, but as I do my talk this morning, you'll probably realise it was for absolutely the wrong reasons. I need you all to stay alert. I've always wanted to say this. I'm going to set you some homework. I never did mine. My sisters did it for me, but I'm going to set you some homework later, so please listen carefully. My mother's shaking my head. She's going to be shaking her head all through this talk, I'm afraid. So, how many of you have done the dreaded uniform shopping this summer? It was my worst time of the year. Those black plimsolls give me nightmares still. I didn't want the long skirt, those awful school shoes. I needed to look good when I went to school. So shopping with my mother was a challenge. And she left me quite a few times because we couldn't agree. So Dad was called in, he was the calming influence, but kind of let me have my own way, but not very much, because school shoes are school shoes, aren't they? Now, I was hoping to do a demonstration of how I walked to school, but unfortunately I broke my elbow, so I want you to picture this. I had a great big school bag, obviously, because you need your hairspray, your makeup, your brush, and your mirror. And when I was walking to school, my two youngest sisters, Kim and Jane, would walk with me. One would hold the mirror, the other would hold my makeup bag, and there I was, rolling my skirt up, scrunching my socks down, and putting the most important thing, my Twilight teaser lipstick on. That was the key. And then I was ready for school, because my mother would have killed me if she'd have seen me doing it at home. So, my mission when I went to school was to impress the boys and entertain the class. What other mission was there when you go to school? I don't know. Anyway, in year 5, which youth, that is year 10 for you. I'm very old. I did CSEs and O-levels, not GCSEs. That shows how ancient I am. But year 5, it all came to a big head. The dreaded day came when my report was issued to me. I said to my sisters, it's going to be war tonight. I sort of handed the report over and ran upstairs. And basically every page said, Lisa has potential. She is clever, could work hard, but doesn't. Talks all the time and entertains, thinks she's the entertainer in class. Well, I'd fulfilled one of my missions, hadn't I? Well, it was not a nice sight, I can tell you. Mum refused to come to parents' evening. She said, I'm done. So Dad was sent along, but Dad couldn't come to parents' evening because he worked shifts. So one day, all my mates come up to me and they went, Lise, your dad's in the car park. I went, oh no, it's bad news. We saw him go to the boardroom and every single one of my teachers were around the table and Dad was at the head. And I thought, oh no. So me and my friends sat under the windowsill trying to listen in because the windows were opening. And I have to say, even though I was in big trouble, I still didn't take it seriously. We were giggling away and I was going, it's my dad, he'll be fine. As long as he doesn't tell me mum everything, we'll be fine. So yes, that was me. Sorry, Mrs. Cooper, she's shaking her head at me, but I was not the role model at school. And then that summer came along and God had other plans for me. I used to come here every week, but again, I came for the fit boys. We had a couple of fit boys, and I thought, yeah, I'll come. So I used to come to church, and they said to me in the summer holidays, I'm 15, Lisa, there's a Christian concert on Saturday night, you coming? And I went, I'm not. I said, well, how dull. So I'm not coming to church on a Saturday night. Anyway, I didn't get my own way. I came along, sat, and actually, first couple of songs, I thought, oh, this isn't bad. I'm not telling my mum and dad, but it sounds all right. And then what happened was the guy at the end of the concert sort of spoke about how God has a purpose for your life. And something amazing happened. I looked around the room and couldn't see anyone, and I kept looking, where's everyone gone? And it's just like God blanked the room out, and he was talking to me, and he was saying, you've got to make some big changes, Lisa. And that night I gave my life to the Lord, which was a complete transformation. It was a huge turning point in my life. When I went back to school, they started calling me the Virgin Mary because I told them I'd become a Christian. So I did get ridiculed for it. But I now had a blank piece of paper, a new start. And I just wanted to tell you this morning that God has a plan for us all. We may not know it. Is there something this morning that you need to let go of and move forward? You see, at school, I'd wasted all the years not doing what I should have been doing and studying. But God had a plan for me. If I hadn't turned to him in that moment, who knows what would have happened. After finishing school, I did tour with the Christian group, and I'm not a great singer. I don't know how I got in. But I did tour with them for 3 years, and I travelled around the world. Now, if you'd have told the 15-year-old girl she was doing that, I would not have believed them. So don't get me wrong, it hasn't been an easy journey. I've been a Christian since I was 15. Why do you ask it hasn't been an easy journey? Because I haven't done what God wants all the time. I've looked to the worldly things, and I've gone my own way a lot of the time. But thankfully, God doesn't let us go, and he doesn't give up on us. He loves us no matter what. One of my favourite verses is Philippians 3:13-14. And it says, forgetting what is behind and straining towards what is ahead, I press on towards the goal to win the prize for which God has called me heavenward in Christ. Now, for those that don't know anything about the Bible, Paul wrote this, and he had a right dodgy past. He was a religious leader, and he made life very difficult for the Jesus followers. But then, when he was on his way to Damascus, Jesus, who had already risen from the dead, met with him, and his life took a new direction. Instead of trying to stamp out Christianity, he was encouraging people to follow Jesus. Paul had every reason to feel guilty about his past, but he chose to let it go. Later on, he was put in prison because he was telling people about Jesus. And while he was there, this is when Paul wrote this verse. So we've always got to press on, not look behind, because God does forgive us. In the school holidays, when it comes to September, I don't know about you, but it's almost like a new year. It's a new start. The kids are going back to school. I used to say to George and Max, my two sons, right, September, we've got a new way of going on. And they'd giggle and roll their eyes because they knew what was coming. Every September, I gave them the same lecture. We're going to eat healthier. We're going to get up on time. We're going to be tidier. We're going to do our homework when we get in straight from school. And I'm sure a lot of you have had those conversations this week. And you've been getting your children ready. But for a moment, I want you to forget about your children, and I want you all to think about yourselves. This is a chance for us to have a new year, a new start. So what do we need to change? Are we just going from day to day doing the same things, going through the motions of life? Are we too busy, not knowing which way to turn? There's not enough hours in the day. As the new term starts, what do you need to change in your life? Do you have something missing? You see, you may not know it, but God does have a plan for us all here today. This doesn't mean that life's going to be perfect, but we have the assurance that he's with us always through everything that we're going through. Like Paul, are we going to look forward and not look back? Back to school isn't just for our children. It's for everyone here who is watching or who is watching online today. I always say every day is a school day. Whether you're 2 or 102, you can learn something. Who likes mobile phones? I thank the Lord mobile phones weren't out when I was a teenager, or I'd have been in more trouble. But, mobile phones now have a big place in society today. When I walk to work here every morning, I walk by a lot of parents taking their kids to school. And the one thing that stands out to me is most parents are on the phone and the kids are walking along like this. And one lad hurt himself the other week, and his dad didn't even realise because he was busy on his phone. And I'm guilty of it. I'm guilty of being on my phone. So do we, when we go on social media, are we posting things that are good? Or are we posting things that aren't helpful? Are we criticising people online? Are we being a keyboard warrior and writing things that are not nice? Or are we just looking at content that isn't really appropriate? Is our purpose in life to have the best of everything? Is money our driver? I know so many people who have made money their goal, and I want to tell you, it may bring you short-term happiness, but not long-term joy. Maybe you try and find happiness through drink, drugs, or maybe you get your kicks out of having a good gossip. You might be sitting there this morning and you're in so much pain and you have health problems, or you've lost a loved one and the grief is absolutely overwhelming. I want to tell you this morning, Jesus is the answer. He gives you the joy that you need. It's great to see so many visitors here this morning, and if it's your first time here, we really welcome you. But for the next few minutes, I want to talk to the people that come week after week, and I really hope that if you're new here today, that you'll feel that you can come back next week, because this service today has been slightly different, but there's always, it's a great atmosphere here, and we have a wonderful family. But I want to ask you, if you come week after week, do you come looking good like I did when I went to school? Do you sing the songs? Or are you helping people find and follow Jesus? Or are you just going through the motions week in, week out? Are you showing God's love and using the talents and gifts that God has given you? I was listening on my phone again before I went to bed on Instagram, a preacher from America that I love to watch. And one thing he said was, if someone followed you around for 24 hours, would they find Jesus? And I lay there thinking, oh dear, I've given Neil a bit of a telling off today. He hadn't done something. I've done this, I've done that. Would they have found Jesus? If someone followed you today for 24 hours, would they see Jesus? God has given you gifts and talents. He's given everything. Even if you don't think that he has given every one of us something that we can do here and in our lives for other people and for God. It's such an exciting time in our church, and we see so many people coming through our doors, not just on a Sunday, but in the week in our cafe. Oh, since I've worked here, I can't believe how many people we get in our cafe. It's amazing. It spreads right into the church. It's fantastic. Renew, Natter, all the youth and kids activities. It's really fantastic. But what I want to ask you this morning is, what time do you give to help people find and follow Jesus? A few weeks ago at one of our clubs, a leader said to me, Lisa, we're going to have to cap our numbers as we don't have enough volunteers. And I said, we can't turn them away. We just can't turn people away. But we need to pray that willing volunteers come forward. I ask you this morning to look at your gifts, talents and time. And if you were like me that once sat in the congregation and thought, I'm not good enough to do these things, you're absolutely wrong. You're all good enough. So just think about what you're doing with your time. You know when you get your screen time at the end of the week and it tells you you've been on your phone 8 hours, has it been productive? So we all have, the great news is we have a fresh page every day. Every school year starts with blank pages. ready to be written on. In the same way, God gives us fresh pages every day. What will he write on yours this year? What lessons will you let him teach you? Now, I hope you've all been listening because this is homework time. So you've all got a bit of paper on your chairs. Now, I just want you to think for a few moments about what is your purpose, what will you change this term, and what are your hopes for the coming year? Now, if you don't want to write on it, it's fine. I'm not going to make you hand it in to me or hand it in to Mrs. Cooper. This is purely for you. What do you need to change this year? And just have a think now about what you can, a New Year resolution. And if you've heard anything today and you have questions, please come and talk to us after the service. We would absolutely love to talk to you.